Welcome back to Analytical Media. We are a consortium, a group of therapists, college professors, and well-published, peer-reviewed authors. We're here to answer your questions pertinent to mental health, pertinent to psychology, pertinent to relationships, etc. Today's question: is fighting normal in a relationship? Normal, it can be used in different ways. Is it common? It is common. But is it good? Is fighting good? Is fighting acceptable? The answer is no. It is not good. Fighting does damage in a relationship. If you don't believe me, then let me ask you, what kind of fighting is okay or good? Is it okay to fight with fists? Is it okay to fight with knives? Is it okay to fight with guns? Hopefully you would say not. But what about words? Haven't you heard that? I guess it's okay to fight with words. If you can't fight physically, then you have to fight verbally. I don't know what other type of fighting there is. But how many times have you heard that someone say who's been abused that the words hurt them more than a physical violence? That the language that was used, the words, the names that were called, the things that were said, were much more painful than any physical violence. And that's obviously true. So if physical violence is not okay, and verbal violence is not okay, then you can see that no type of fighting is okay. You can't fight without some type of aggression. And congratulatory words obviously have an impact. Words of praise have an impact. Words of love have an impact. They can all make the relationship better. Then it should make simple sense to you that negative terms, negative words, attacking words, name-calling, belittling, they would have an impact too in the opposite direction. You say good stuff, it has a good, positive impact on a relationship. But if you're saying bad things, it has a very negative impact. Many times, the end of a relationship will occur after a good fight. So fighting is common. You see it in relationships, but it's never good. It's not normal in that sense. It's a part of a well-functioning relationship. It is not. The more you fight in a relationship, the more likely you are that that relationship will end, and end quickly. The longer the fights in a relationship, the more likely that relationship is going to end. Your fights 30-second blow-ups, or do they last 2 or 3 days? Have you gone 2 or 3 days being mad, 2 or 3 weeks being mad at your partner? Well, that's a very bad sign. And relationships end. Love should never end. But a relationship between two people, it could end. And it could end with some nasty words, or it could end with a knife, or with a gun, or with a beating. Strangulation maybe, drowning. There are a lot of ways that relationships end. And you see all this stuff on the ID channel. Mostly, somebody's dead. Mostly, we look to the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, that's who did the murder. So, no level of fighting is okay. However, you're two different human beings. You like each other, maybe even love each other, or think you do. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get along very smoothly and all the time. You might think she meant to say this, or she said this, and the truth is she meant to say something else, or she didn't say that at all. You misinterpreted it. Did you ever fight with someone for an hour, hour and a half, arguing back and forth, and then somebody says, "Hey, did you mean It is okay to go to the store? Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, I misunderstood that. I thought you said it's not okay to go to the store. Boom, fight's over. All based on a misunderstanding of certain words and expressions. You might swear you never said that, but they heard that. Whether you said it or not, that's how they heard it. So, no degree of fighting is acceptable. It's more likely to see fighting early in a relationship, and disagreements may occur. Not real fights, but misunderstandings, disagreements that need to be straightened out, ironed out. But the goal of these two people, you and your partner, the goal is to be selfless, to be one person, one goal, one unit. And having fighting partners is like fighting with a lung that's been transplanted into your body or a kidney. It's not good. You shouldn't be fighting with what you're trying to form a union with. You know, in a really good relationship, sometimes person A will get angry or snippy, and sometimes person B will be the one. But one of you, hopefully, will be the calm, rational one when the other person has momentarily lost their temper. And maybe when neither one of you is particularly rational at that point, there'll be a brief blow up and you'll work it out. So, oftentimes you hear people talk about fighting like, hey, it's perfectly normal. It's good for a relationship. It's good to get these things out. It's good to talk about these things. Yeah, it's good to talk about things, but it's never good to fight about things. And be careful with what you say. Don't forget, you're speaking to someone who loves you in a good relationship. This is someone who loves you. How much do you want to hurt that person? I know you're angry, but if you weren't, would you hate yourself for what you're saying right now? When it's over, will you apologize profusely? No, we're not perfect. Mistakes will be made, but we have to minimize them. And we have to be careful. And you don't want to hold a grudge either. If so-and-so says, ouch, damn you, and then quickly responds, oh, I'm sorry, I just hurt my toe, or you stepped on my foot, or my back's spasming again, or I have another headache, or a migraine. Make sure you have forgiveness. Let's not hold a grudge. Because if you do, you're simply punishing that person for something that they did. Now, if they did it intentionally, I suppose it's all right to punish them. But if they did it quite accidentally or unintentionally, intending you no harm, or recognizing they're creating harm and quickly stops and apologizes, then you cannot hold a grudge. You should not hold a grudge. You should let it go. Let it end. Accept it. Forget it. You're both human. You're not perfect. You'll make mistakes. The younger you are, the more mistakes you'll make. It takes a while to figure out life and to figure out relationships. I don't know how many courses they offered in high school in advanced relationship building. None, of course. You know very little. Doesn't mean you don't have great potential. Doesn't mean that you won't be great at a relationship, but you're bound to make some mistakes. When you learn to drive an automobile, that's when you're most likely to have an accident in those early years. As time goes by, you've mastered it more and more, and as time passes in a relationship, you will master it more and more. But do not try to win arguments. This isn't a debate. Try to end arguments, not by giving in. Try to end the argument with understanding, trying to produce understanding as to what caused the argument and how to resolve it. And forgive your partner for their imperfections. Don't hold a grudge. And as I said, holding a grudge is a form of punishment. It's like, well, think of it simply. Well, you pushed me, so that means I push you. And since I push you, you can push me. And then I, you, and you, me, and I, you, and it's endless. It's a cycle. The cycle has to end. It's like the Hatfield and the McCoys, that feud, the famous feud. The Hatfield said, well, McCoy, you shot my brother, so I'm going to shoot your brother. Bang. So the McCoy says, you shot my brother. And I know another McCoy shot your brother, but you can't shoot my brother. Bang. And then back and forth, and the feud never ends. Honor the relationship, hold the relationship to be what it is. It's a thing to be cherished because it's supposed to be a thing of love. And a good relationship should be that. Maybe you haven't felt that love with your partner, but you know what love is because you felt it with your grandmother, that relationship, or your mother, or your father, or your sister, or your first husband for that matter. You don't want to damage the relationship because attacking the other person is just the same as attacking you, attacking yourself. It's very much like putting a knife in someone's right hand and then putting a knife in the left hand of the same person and letting the two hands fight it out. Maybe the right hand will beat the left hand, but how damaged will the left hand be? And how damaged will the right hand be? The whole body damaged. Fighting causes damage. Don't forget, wars are fought. Turf wars are fought. Football games are fought. But there should be no fights, no wars, no battles in a relationship. If you have any more questions on this topic, please let us know. We'll be glad to go into anything, amplify it, give you background information, whatever you'd like on the topic. So this is Analytical Media, and we will talk to you the next time we post. Hey, don't forget, recommend us to a friend perhaps, or a mother, or father, a family member. It might really help someone.